Hey guys, welcome to a sister pod. My name is Lulu and I'm here with
Miriam.
And I'm Yesenia. Hope you guys are doing well. How are you?
We're good.
Pretty good, hungry.
Pretty good. We're always hungry.
We're
always
We
starving.
gotta learn how to eat.
Good Lord, Jesus.
We never eat before recording.
Okay, guys. So today we're gonna read you guys some scary Reddit stories. I think we all have a story that we're gonna share. Mm-hmm. So, am I starting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So mine is about a dollhouse ghost. It's short, and let's see.
You know, I used to have a phobia of dolls. I did not like dolls or like teddy bears
Las
or
muñecas?
yeah.
¿Por qué?
I don't know. I think honestly,
Like baby dolls or like Barbies?
any dolls, like Barbies, baby dolls,
What?
like
I
teddy
love
bears.
Barbies and babies.
I had a phobia of like dolls. I couldn't sleep with like a doll in my room.
Yeah.
I would. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I would have to like tell my mom to come and get this doll.
Los
out my
ojos,
room.
okay.
I think so. I think I would be like, it's like it
weird.
looks weird or
Yeah,
like
I
it's
used
looking
to
at
have
me.
them, but I always had them in like the playroom. Like I never brought them to like go to sleep. Like I don't understand how kids
And
do
I think
that.
it
Yo
was
me dormía
you.
con una blankie.
Yeah, I had a blanket.
But
We all
Celeste
did.
sleeps with a little, like a little borreguito.
Her lammy.
Her lammy.
Okay, that one's not
fine.
as weird.
I'm talking. Yeah, that's fine. I'm talking about like. Well, no, even I think like teddy bears and stuff. I would be like, Mom, I think it's like looking at me weird or like, it looks weird. And I used to be like, I can't sleep with a doll in my room, and I think you would play with dolls.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
but I never
And
used to leave them in the room.
In the playroom.
Yeah.
I don't know how, or I think she would buy me dolls, and sometimes I would have like teddy bears or something
Lulu,
like that.
I don't even remember you playing with toys.
I think I just played with Freddie.
I don't know. I don't remember you playing with toys. I do remember Miriam
I
playing with
wasn't
some
really-
dolls.
I don't really remember either. I think my mom says like I didn't really used to play with like dolls or like.
I don't remember you doing that.
I think I was more like paint and stuff
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like drawing
And coloring.
and coloring. I didn't like toys. I know, but I didn't like dolls. Like, I used to really tell my mom like I can't sleep. Like you need to come and take this doll out my room because I didn't want to touch it either.
Bueno, es que si hay unos que they're a little creepy.
Yeah, but
So let's get into the story and see.
you're gonna make my phobia come back.
Girl.
You don't got dolls now.
No.
Okay. The title of the story is, or they labeled it as Dollhouse Ghosts Getting Stronger, and I think I have a demon.
What?
Okay, so it goes like this. I own a dollhouse I believe to be haunted by a little girl I call Beatrice. The fact that she named
her.
the ghost. She named it. I've seen her before and she makes noise, but now she's interacting with things. I was willing to brush it off when my closet door, I keep her dollhouse in my closet, kept opening under mysterious circumstances.
Oh, we'll put a
But
padlock.
now she's doing shit like talking, crying, breathing down my neck, pushing
Oh.
me, playing with my hair.
So why didn't you throw it away?
I don't know.
I think that's worse.
To be honest,
Lock that hoe in the closet.
She needed to go get a priest when it started and like just come.
that's crazy though. To be honest, she doesn't really scare me all that much anymore. I've had her around for about 6 years.
Oh my gosh.
I could not.
Yeah.
Not
no.
a
I
day.
would have been gone in 1 week.
And she's never hurt me or broken my things. But she
so is she
scares
waiting
you.
for that to happen?
She's talking to you,
So if she start
breathing down your neck, pulling your hair.
The breathing
no.
down the neck is crazy.
Okay, I can see her in random reflective things, but there is one thing that's been freaking me out. I can see her in random things, but when I've been looking into the usual things she appears in, sometimes I see something else. I'm not sure if this is the real Beatrice and she's pretending to be a little girl, or if this is another entity entirely.
wait, so she doesn't have a doll. She just has the doll
dollhouse.
and she sees
And it has
a
a
doll in things.
A ghost.
A ghost
in-
doll.
Maybe
dollhouse.
it's like a little girl that she sees
Yeah.
that the dog.
Maybe
used
like
the
it belongs
house
to a
used
little
belong-
girl
Yeah.
or something.
I don't know. Maybe it was a used dollhouse.
Yeah.
It could be. Okay, so she's not sure if it's the real Beatrice that she sees pretending to be a little girl or if it's another thing entirely. She's been seeing a tall cloaked figure where Beatrice should be for a few years now. So I imagine her if she's hearing something, I don't know, in the closet or something. She sees something that doesn't look like a little girl. It looks like
Something else.
Yeah. Beatrice is just a kid, but this scares me. For instance, I sleep in a loft bed, and I was looking into the reflective eyes of a plush owl I had at a time to say goodnight to Beatrice. And instead, she said goodnight to her.
What?
So she's not really scared,
I
but
think
she's
she's
starting
crazy.
to get a little worried.
I think she's actually crazy.
Okay, so instead, I saw that thing. To give you an idea how tall the thing is, my bed is about 5 feet. This was roughly about 6 feet tall.
But she sees it, or she sees a reflection of it in things.
Yeah,
I
or
think
like
she always sees a reflection.
or like a shadowy thing. She sees a cloaked figure.
Because I would say, how she know how tall it is? But okay,
She sees a cloaked
reflection
figure.
of it.
Like maybe she sees it peeking through the door.
But she says she sees it in reflections.
She can see it in reflections. Okay, so over time I've gotten a better look at it, and it's just pale and has no eyes. I'm scared that Beatrice is really that creature. And she's asking, anybody got any ideas of how to get rid of that? What it might be, or how to get Beatrice to stop pulling my necklaces. And then she has another little note. I have a sweet little ghost girl in my house who is growing up too fast and might actually be a demonic creature.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. But she need to get why didn't she get a priest and throw it away 6 years ago?
She's been seeing this for 6 years.
I think it's driving her crazy now. Like she actually.
I think that at first it was just like playful things or like stuff that didn't scare her because she heard like little girl noises or a little girl talking or playing.
Or what if the creature like?
I honestly don't believe that there's good ghosts. I think they're all some type of demon.
They're all demons.
Because why would there be a good ghost here?
You don't believe in the thing where they say they have like unfinished business, like someone dies and like they feel like they weren't. What is the word? Like they weren't.
¿Y tú crees que van a ser buenos?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think they're all bad spirits.
Maybe not, because if they were good, then they would just go to heaven.
Exactly.
They're like in
No hubieran penado.
They're stuck here.
Yeah.
I could not for 6 years. At the first little laugh, at the first pulling of my hair, I would be out of that room.
I would move houses. I would burn it, get a priest.
Imagínate.
Go get baptized again.
y luego que cambie y que veas what you think it was a little girl, but now you see something else.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know why she still got that.
Yeah, like why didn't she get rid of it? Or like,
what if she can't?
Get a priest or something to bless it, or
I wonder how old she is.
That's what I'm wondering too. Cause like, does she just have it as like an antique or like like why did she have it?
Well, it's on Reddit story, so.
I mean, it sounds like a younger person.
Pero no tan joven.
And she says she lives in a loft, so I guess she lives by herself.
She has a loft bed, so her bed is up high.
Oh.
So she's saying that her bed is up high about 5 feet, and the figure that she sees is about 6 feet taller than her bed. So no, that's not a little girl. Get out of there, Brad. Get a priest. Throw the dollhouse away.
Call the Catholic Church.
Echa agua bendita.
Go get baptized.
Que te hagan una limpia.
Una limpia.
Con un huevo.
Con un huevo. Con el pasote.
Okay. So.
Are you going to go next or
Yeah, I'll read mine. So this is a really long one that I have found. This is about that story that I say that there's black-eyed children.
Oh, no.
I don't know. I heard the story. We heard the story a long time ago.
A long time ago.
But you say you don't remember, or you do?
I remember kind of. I mean, I remember you mentioning that. But I don't remember, like, where it comes from or what they do. Like,
I have to close tonight.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna see
good luck.
I don't close by myself and they walk me out.
No te vaya a parecer ahí Beatrice.
But when I get home, I have to get out by myself.
So this story, I didn't even know it had a name, but it's called, or they just called it.
They just like
title it some random.
Yeah, put it like a title or heading.
It says, I've encountered the black-eyed children. It says, I believe I've encountered the black-eyed children over a decade ago in rural Appalachia. It says, this has always low-key disturbed me, keeping in touch to this day. We've never brought it up again. Oh, she's talking about like her and her friend.
Wait, they both saw it?
It says we were at a local state park, sort of place at between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. Why were you at the park at 1 a.m.? That's when things come out.
That's you looking for stuff.
That's when you gotta be at your house.
You just ask.
In bed. Asleep.
Yeah, no.
Cobijada.
I'm not going to be in the middle of no woods at 1 a.m. No.
Imagínate.
I'm going to be in the house.
¿Haciendo qué? ¿Buscando qué?
Looking for things, bro. I said, well, it says, I remembered we were parked alongside the woods and some picnic tables. It was pretty desolate. What that mean, alone?
Yes. What do they expect? At 1 in the morning in the forest.
Oh, look. It says we were technically trespassing. Oh, it says we were 17 female and 17 male at the time.
Oh, we know what they were doing. It makes sense.
It says, and what we were doing there. Oh, yeah, look. It says, it says, and what we were doing there, you can leave to your imagination. There you go. It says, as our curfews were approaching and we were finishing up our time together, we experienced a very ominous feeling. He was in the driver's seat preparing to start the car and pull off. The car doesn't start. We sort of laughed it off as it wasn't the first time and talked.
I would have been mad as hell.
Yeah. Why would you get in his car then and then go to the woods?
If it don't.
What if you get stuck in the woods? That's crazy.
No piensa.
It says suddenly to the. Okay. It says suddenly to the right, passenger side where I was sitting, we see faint lights coming out of the woods. The ominous feeling intensified. Emerging from the woods, there are 4 to 5 children, younger than us, like appearing to be 7 to 11 years old. This at 1 in the morning. Why would they be
a bunch of children? 5 children.
4 to 5 children.
That's a lot of kids.
And they were between 7 to 11 years old. It says, I'm not going to claim they had black eyes. It was dark, and I don't remember as I was pretty shook. I didn't read about the black-eyed children lore /
So how did she know they were the black-eyed?
I think she found out maybe after, and then she was kind of like, that was maybe
says lore / phenomenon until years later, which described everything else that we experienced. All I can say is they were not normal. They didn't belong. The cabins at the park were not occupied and weren't even getting rented out as it was autumn / winter. It says we were miles from the park's hotel. There were no adults. They were absolutely out of place. And she said, what were the lights? I don't know. But the closest thing I can compare them to are glowing sticks. What?
Eran marcianos.
They were aliens?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's funny.
It said, as if they had opened a package of those novelty glow sticks that included bracelets, necklaces, or wands. But they were witches. So, it says, but it wasn't like they were having fun or goofing off. They just stopped, stood there, and stared at us.
Oh hell
no. He tried asking what they were doing here, if they were lost, where are their parents.
They tried talking to them?
I would have been like,
this is where are their parents?
I'm leaving.
No response. The oldest looking male child, a bit heavy set with a gray hoodie on, approached the vehicle.
Oh, they have clothes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they were naked, it would be weird.
So they're not aliens.
No.
Mm-mm. It says
aliens wouldn't have a hoodie on.
No. It says
so valid.
It says he approached the vehicle just in the front where the passenger headlight corner would be. My friend started really freaking out at this moment. We locked the doors and was like, hell no, we gotta go. Eventually, the car starts. The children don't move, and the kid stays put in front of the car. My friend eventually...
In front of the car?
Yeah, like he just stood there.
And
they were all staring at them.
It
says, my friend eventually yells to the kid, I'm going to run you over. The boy slowly backs away, raises his arm, and points at us as we were leaving. I didn't look back. And she said, I absolutely am not making this up. This is to my recollection. This is a true story.
So I imagine like they were in the car and the kids were like off over here. They're like standing in front of the car.
I think it was only
staring at them.
Yeah, and like 5 kids. And like not saying anything. They're just standing there and staring at them.
I would have sped home.
And she said it was dark.
But did they look like normal kids?
They look like kids. And I guess she said they might have had black eyes, might have not, but it was dark, so they couldn't really see. But that they had like an ominous feeling, like right before.
I would have driven 100 miles an hour home.
That's scary though. But like,
so
say your car doesn't start and you're like trying to get away and it doesn't
I'm
start.
calling
Like in the
911.
movies, nunca
I'm calling
funciona.
911.
Ay,
That's
Dios
so
santo,
crazy.
no, qué miedo. And then years later, she looked into it.
It says years later she heard the story about the black-eyed kids, and she said this was
That's
like
what we
it's
saw.
pretty close to
Like
it.
she remembered.
Ay, no, qué miedo. No, no, no. Pero a ver, ¿qué andaban haciendo allí a la 1 a.m?
You know what they were doing?
Yes, we know.
17.
Yes, we know.
In the woods, it's crazy though.
That is crazy.
They gotta live in a small ass town to do that. 'Cause
Well, it's a rural Appalachian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they lived there. Yeah, no.
That's crazy. That is scary.
But it's hard.
Imagínate
if my car didn't start, I
que
think I would kill
salgan unos
myself.
guachitos del forest y que se te queden viendo nada más.
And they were like little, and it was 1 a.m.
Bueno, sí entiendo. I understand why she would ask, like, what are you doing here? Like, where are your parents? Like, they're little kids. Like, what are they doing alone?
Like maybe they got lost.
I don't know what I would do.
I don't know, but if they were lost, if they were actually lost
would've
little
asked
kids, they
for
would
help.
probably be freaking out and be like, "I'm lost. Can you help
Or
us?"
they're
Crying.
Just, they're just
Crying.
calm, just staring. Like,
If
that's
it
creepy
was
as hell.
say they got lost and now it's 1 a.m, super dark, they would have probably been freaking out if they were lost. You know, their parents is not letting them out at 1 a.m. and they're like 7. Kids don't think about sneaking out at 7 years old.
That's scary.
Yeah, no, those weren't kids. That was something
Don't
else.
scare them, demonios.
Yeah, I think that's what they're saying.
Are they
They're like
demons?
demons.
Are they
I have
devils?
heard though. I think the usual black-eyed children stories is kind of like that, but I think
When they're just staring at you.
yeah, but it's more so like they'll stare at them, but they'll like try to get into your car, or like they'll ask if they can get into your car, and you're not supposed to let them in your car, like in your house.
Why? What
But they'll
happens?
show up to like your front door, like at your car, and
What
they'll
happens if you let them in?
Probably kill you.
I don't know. I don't think there's a story where I've never seen
Where
a
someone
story.
survived?
where-
¿Cómo le dices a un niño que no?
But imagine they go up to your door in the middle of the day and their eyes are black completely.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I haven't heard a
I've
story.
heard stories where sometimes they'll have like sunglasses on or something.
The kids. A que no
Oh,
les
and
vean
then
los
they'll
ojos.
take them off or something, and they'll see that they have black eyes,
Yeah.
like completely black eyes.
Like, there's no white part.
There's no
Yeah,
white
white
part.
Oh, no. Sí son demonios. Mm-hmm.
And they'll ask to like, and supposedly they're like very persistent to like, we're lost. Can you help us? Like, let me in your house. Let me in your car. And you're like, a lot of them just they say no because they look weird,
Mm-hmm. They look
Yeah, I
creepy.
would've said
and
no.
they're like very persistent to like get into your space, but you're not supposed to let them in. But I don't.
No, pues,
I
no.
haven't seen a story where they did let them in, and like
Survive.
I feel
we
like
hear
I've
that we
heard
hear
of
the
one.
after.
Ay, no.
That's kind of odd.
¿Tú, Miriam, tienes una historia?
Yeah, I think y'all's might be more creepy than mine.
Yeah.
A ver.
Okay, this one doesn't have a title, I don't think, because it was like under a bunch of ones. So
Oh,
there's no title.
like
for
a
it.
comment.
It was like a comment.
Yeah, it was a comment. Okay, it says, when I was in high school, I had a really good friend who lived next door to a house that was always up for sale. People would move out in the middle of the night without a word, and it hadn't had the same owner for more than 6 months straight for a couple years.
What?
They got ghosts in that hole. One night, we were really bored, and he suggested we go explore the house next door since it had sat empty for a while.
Sí. Ay,
People
yo
just
no
be looking for
entiendo.
stuff.
No
Like
aprenden de las películas de terror.
no.
No aprenden.
Then they be
Some people be
tripping and
dying. We go around back, and there's a dog door that he can crawl through, and he unlocks the door and lets me in.
That's one tiny person.
That's ghetto. Why would you go to
That's
the
one
doggy
tiny
door?
person.
Oh yeah.
The house itself is really unremarkable. It looked like it was built in maybe the 1950s and was a craftsman style house in an older, nicer part of the town. So I guess in like a neighborhood, they're all built the same.
Mm-hmm.
Because it said like his friend had a similarly built house. The kitchen had a really nice built-in breakfast table set against a picture window. The house's electricity was off, but you could see the street light through the window. My friend and I sat down on the floor across from this table and are just hanging out talking. Why? Who knows? Why do people do this?
No pueden salirse afuera nomás a platicar.
Right. Like
Tienen
why
que
didn't
irse
they
a
just talk
meter.
in
They
the
couldn't go
house?
talk in the friend's house.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Okay, it
No
says,
sense.
all of a sudden, my friend screams, and in that instant, my vision goes black.
What?
But it wasn't that I couldn't see. My body was engulfed in this sickly coldness from head to toe. I start screaming, and I feel my friend's hand grabbing mine and pulling me in some direction forcefully. My vision slowly comes back, and I start to warm up when I realize we're outside under the street light. It was December and should have been much warmer inside of that house.
What?
But it was
querían
cold.
llevar.
Yeah,
And he screamed. Dang, it doesn't say like why he screamed. Like, did he see
He saw
something?
something.
we're getting to that.
Oh,
It
I
says,
thought that was it.
no, it says, finally, I look at my friend and he looks scared. I'm really confused and kind of panicked myself and finally ask him what happened. He says that as I was talking, a black thing, this figure that was all black and only had the vague shape of a girl, crawled out from under the table and sat on top of me.
what?
What? Oh my, se le subió el demonio.
Literal.
Oh my gosh.
It says,
Eso vio el amigo.
And that's why he screamed and pulled
pulled
her
her.
out.
Yeah.
The fact that he stayed
The
and was
fact
pulling
that
her out.
girl, I would have
ran. I would have ran.
Everybody for themselves.
I would have ran. So sorry.
Gosh.
It says, apparently I started groping around with my eyes wide open. Like
What is groping?
I have no idea.
Like feeling. Like,
oh, because
Oh.
she was like, my vision went black.
Oh, okay.
like
Like
I sat on top of her. That's,
Yeah.
that's
like I couldn't see, and he
Like
was
on her
so-
head? On her
That's
shoulders?
what I
Yeah,
understood.
maybe
Or her
like on
stomach?
head.
I understood,
If she
like,
was
her
sitting-
back?
If she was sitting, it probably like came and sat on her shoulders, on her head. Or something.
no.
This is scary. No,
It
but
is-
like,
Cross, que se vaya el diablo y que venga Jesús.
imagine seeing that. Like, say you're the friend and you see a girl crawl out.
I
and
would be so
sit on top of
traumatized.
her.
Oh my god.
Ay, Dios está.
I don't
Como si ahorita saliera aquí del closet.
Jesse, don't say that.
What's wrong with you?
That's
Okay.
scary.
Like I couldn't see, and he was so freaked out he pulled me out of the house. He says we're still friends and we bring it up every now and
That's
then.
a good friend.
But the
That's a
story
good-ass
itself never changes, and it still sends chills down my
Y
spine.
ya no se fueron a meter otra vez.
Probably not.
Mm,
I
they
wouldn't.
learn.
To
They probably
this-
ain't never going no abandoned house
Imagínate la
again.
gente que estuvo viviendo ahí.
That's
Well,
why
they
they left so
probably
That
quick.
was just in one night, in one instance.
Like, that was fast. That was a very, like, fast occurrence. Like, immediately type. Like,
Yeah.
Sí, no como que oyeron algo que se movió o algo así
heard a
tantito
little
y después
noise.
No.
getting worse and worse.
That was that day. They were there.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
Dios
The fact
de
that he
mi
pulled
vida.
her out, though. Did they get
Ah,
married?
que se
Because
quedó.
that's a real
And he
one.
I think they just
That's a real friend.
It says, to this day, I've never felt such blackness or coldness in my life. It was palpable, almost sticky. For a couple of days afterwards, I couldn't shake this unsettling feeling, and I could never walk past that house again. It was like the house right next to her.
Oh, no.
That is, like, insane. No, like, say if you were her, you just, it was just weird, you know, you got scared. But
But the friend
for
saw
him,
that?
he saw that, like,
Ajá. Como
and
ella
something
pues no
sat
vio
on
nada.
her. Yeah.
And she didn't feel anything.
She
Yeah,
said
She
her
she
saw
vision
saw
just went
cold,
flash
but
and
she couldn't
cold.
see.
Yeah.
Pero él vio cómo salió la guachita
¡Ah!
de la mesa y se
Se
le
le
subió arriba.
Se le subió un demonio.
¿Se la quería llevar o qué?
Well,
¿Qué
supposedly
iba a
cuando
hacer?
se te sube el demonio, it's like it wants to possess you. Like it was a demon that comes on top of you, like.
Ay, Diosito.
Well, that's supposedly what they say is like what happens when you're
Sleep
that
paralysis?
sleep paralysis. Que se te sube el demonio.
Oh,
That
I
a
see.
demon will come and sit on
No,
your
es
When
que
you,
chest.
se
when you
sube
look
el
up
diablo.
sleep paralysis, those images that be coming up there.
I don't like
Oh.
looking
I
this
don't think
stuff
I've ever
up.
looked that up.
Oh,
But,
girl.
Because I know better.
but it's a,
Google it.
yeah, I don't even want to. I'm gonna make
Imagínate.
my boyfriend do it.
But it's like, tell me what it
scary.
looks like.
No, but supposedly that's what that is. That like a demon will come and sit on your chest because you can't move. And supposedly a lot of the sleep paralysis, all of my sleep paralysis, when
You
I've
have
had
sleep
it,
paralysis?
I've had it maybe like 2 or 3 times. But I don't see anything.
Nothing failed.
I don't see anything ugly. I just feel very scared. I feel very scared because I feel like I'm awake and I can see everything around me, but I can't move and I can't talk and I can't do anything.
Have you had sleep paralysis? Yo tampoco.
I've
I
had it
hope
like
I
two or
never
three
do.
times. No, but
Ay,
my boyfriend does have a scary story though about he sleep paralysis that he had once.
No, you gotta tell us.
I don't know if I can tell y'all, but I think he'll probably tell you better.
You better.
Maybe I'll make him write it down and not
Yeah,
read it.
and we can read it.
Yeah, but he has
Y'all
a
want to do
scary
another one?
This is one that he let the black-eyed kids into his house.
A ver.
I swear I've heard
But
one.
it was very long, so I didn't read it all. I don't know if it's good or not, but
And he survived.
I
Because he
guess.
wrote it.
And he told someone, so I guess. Okay, so
It's a true story.
it says, the name says, I found a man who claims he let the black-eyed children into his home.
Oh my God. Okay.
It says, hey everybody, my name is Kevin, and I read on here more than once about people encountering these black-eyed children. I personally find it creepy as fuck and pray to God I never encounter such evil. It would be terrifying. The only thing about these encounters is everyone seems to have a natural instinct to not let them into the house. See, it's like when you encounter them, they like they tell you like, let me in your house. Like, I need to come in your house. But they're like very persistent.
¿Te imaginas que un guachito con ojos negros esté?
I would shut that door so fast. I wouldn't say
let
nothing
me
to
in your
it. I
house.
wouldn't say nothing to it. I would see it and close the door.
I would slam the door in their face.
Couldn't do it. It says, thank God. So I've been curious as to what exactly happens if you do let them in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was visiting my girlfriend's Mandy, great aunt, in a psychiatric ward and overheard a man mumbling about children with black eyes.
So he's in the psych ward?
So he went crazy.
He a lo mejor quedó loco.
Yeah. It says, I heard a man mumbling about children with black eyes and that no one listens to him. Immediately, my head snapped his way and he caught my attention, so went over and had a little chat with him as they were all eating lunch. I'll do my best to retell the story he told me word for word. As I said, Mandy and I were at the psychiatric ward. When I first heard the man, he was sitting at the next table and I could hear him mumbling to himself while picking at his arm. Says he looked as if he was drugged pretty heavily, so I guess there is no way of knowing how true his story is. Mm-hmm. But that's a very like specific thing to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Like you could say you're talking to someone or something. That's you might be crazy. But to say this about black-eyed children, like
specifically that he let them in,
weird. Like that probably made him go crazy.
Probably. Y nadie le cree, solo lo toman como loco.
Mm-hmm.
Y luego todo drugged.
He said, I'm just going to repeat what he told me.
Mm-hmm.
This is like in quotation marks. I guess this is I think this is like the conversation. It says, excuse me, sir, did you say something about children with black eyes? I leaned over and asked him quietly. His head snapped straight towards me and he stared at me intently. He was probably around 65 years old and the years were not good to him. He had huge bags under his eyes. There were dark spots covering his face and arms. His hair a clumpy, ratted mess with knots sticking out everywhere. The only thing that kept up on him was his lack of beard. Oh, like he didn't have a beard.
He shaved.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Honestly, with his overall mess of an appearance, it looked strange how his face was so cleanly shaven. Who are you, boy? He asked, snapping me from my judgmental trance. Oh my God. My name is Kevin, and I thought... Who are you? My name is Kevin. It says, my name is Kevin, and I thought I heard you mumbling something about black-eyed children. I asked again. He said, yes, I suppose I did, didn't I? He looked confused. So he was just telling the story and not really...
to anyone.
Hearing himself talk?
O a lo mejor estaba...
He was just mumbling to himself.
Ajá. O pensó que no lo estaba diciendo en voz alta.
Yeah.
So I have heard of these children before and was wondering, could you maybe give me a little information about them? If you've seen them or know anyone who has, any information on them would be great. He says, you don't want to meet them, boy. They are pure evil. He looked to the ground, shaking his head. So I've heard. How have you heard of them, sir? I asked hopefully. Says, they ruined my whole life and got me locked in this place. He shouted, startling me. So he went crazy.
Ay, pobre hombre.
He says, shh. I frantically looked around, noticing a guard slowly stand up.
Oh my God.
He was going to kick him out.
Mm-hmm.
It says, I waved them away, letting them know everything was fine, flashing them a smile. Please, sir, can you tell me some more about them? I want to know what to do if I ever encounter them, I pleaded. He says, that's very simple, boy. Never let them in. No matter how distressed or nice they seem, never let them in, he said with a lowered voice. See, you're not supposed to let them in. It says, well, do you know what happens if you do? I asked, raising an eyebrow. Son, I made the horrible choice of letting those demons in my home back in 1992. A tear rolled down his cheek.
Oh, Dios.
My body has chills. But it might just be cold.
It says, holy
no,
shit.
I said Beatrice por ahí atrás.
It says, holy shit. I finally found someone claiming to have let one of those kids in, and he's alive. This could be my only chance to find out what happens. I had to hear his story. Please, sir, will you tell me exactly what happened? He looked at me for a few seconds, then around the room. He looked incredibly nervous, like someone was going to come after him if he told me. After what felt like an eternity, finally looked me in my eyes and slowly shook his head, yes. This is the point where I will stop telling the story like a conversation. I'll just tell what he told me to save time and a lot of typing.
So we didn't need the beginning at all.
I guess not. I'm telling you, it's really long and I didn't really read it the whole way through. Okay. So I don't know if it's good or not. It was November 9th, 1992. I was watching television downstairs while my wife, Helen, was asleep upstairs, as was my two children, Mary and Bradley.
So he has a wife and kids?
Yes, he had a wife and kids.
No doubt he got it anymore.
Okay.
Where did he kill his family?
I was watching an old horror movie called The Evil Dead. It was probably around 1:30 a.m.
Oh, I know that movie.
I think I know that movie too. And after the movie, I planned on going upstairs to bed. All of a sudden, I heard someone pounding on my front door. I remember getting pretty angry because who in the hell would be pounding on my goddamn door at 1:30 in the fucking morning? Oh my God. So pretty pissed off, I stormed to the front door and yanked it open, ready to yell at whoever was ignorant enough to disturb my night. When I looked out, it was two children. A boy probably around 8 years old and a girl 11 or 12. They both had their heads hung down looking at their feet.
See?
So they couldn't see their eyes. That's also when I noticed they were out in bare feet. Now, this is mid-November in Michigan, so anybody that doesn't know, it's fucking cold.
Yeah.
So what the hell are you kids doing wandering around pounding on people's doors in the middle of the night in bare feet? I hollered.
That's so, like, country.
Yeah. Them kids never did look up or anything. They just sat there. It sounded like the boy was crying softly. He said, well, I demanded. I said, please, sir, we're cold. The girl said quietly, still looking at her feet. So they're not looking up.
No le dan la cara.
Looking at her feet. That's also when I noticed their feet weren't even red or anything. Like they wasn't cold or nothing. Says, well, no shit. You walking around in the middle of November in bare fucking feet. I was shocked and pissed off, so I wasn't the nicest person at that moment.
Can't give a fuck.
It says, can we please come in? We're so cold, the little boy begged. They never did look up at me, and I never saw them black eyes. All right, yes, but you call your parents and have them come pick you up. Understand? I said sternly. They both just shook their heads that they understood. Then they slowly walked past me.
This is the 90s, too.
They slowly walked past me into my home. This was when my life would change forever, and I would live the most frightening half hour of my life. That's all it took, them damn kids.
Half hour?
A half hour.
30 minutes.
So they were in his house for half an hour. So once I got inside, I quickly walked past them and went straight for my phone. It was around the corner in the kitchen, so I had to leave them out of sight for a minute. I grabbed it and quickly back to where I left them, only they were gone. I looked around and couldn't find them anywhere.
They went to go his wife and kids.
Oh, God. So, kids, where the hell did you go? I shouted. It was at this point I realized just how quiet the house was. I could have swore I left that television on, but yet silence. It was an eerie quiet. Now, I was a grown-ass man, and at that moment, for some odd reason, I felt fear. It was a feeling I guess I can only describe as that there was pure evil in this house, and I was its prey. Oh my God, I can't read.
Oh.
So he already felt like something was off, not right.
Dang, there's still a lot left. It says, hello. I called out one more time. I once again was met with dead silence, so I decided I was going to go look for him. I tiptoed through the kitchen into the living room, and just as I got by the couch, I heard the first scream. Oh, shit. It was coming from upstairs from one of the bedrooms. I never ran so fast in my life, all the while shouting my wife's name and the kids. I knew that they were in danger, but in that moment, I wasn't thinking anything about them damn kids. I was just thinking about helping my family. I got to my wife's room first, and I'll never forget what I saw that night. It'll be burned into my brain forever.
I'm scared.
Oh
La mataron.
It says, when I opened the door, I saw my wife laying face down on the floor. There was blood everywhere. I ran out, but as soon as I got next to her, something pulled her under the bed from her feet. Oh my God. He says, what the fuck? I shouted.
Beep.
This is so funny.
I shouted as I jumped back and landed on my ass. Oh my God.
Como todas subimos los pies a la mesa. Ay, no.
It
Vamos
says-
a soñar en la noche.
Yo no sueño.
No, I do.
At that point, I'll literally forget about it.
I'm about to watch some comedy. Okay,
We're watching Disney movies. It says he jumped back and he landed on his ass. I heard crunching and snapping as her bones snapped repeatedly,
my back.
and I could hear chunks of flesh being torn from her body.
What the fuck?
What?
I ran as fast
Mira.
as
Tengo escalofrío.
A mí se me quitó, pero no me pegó.
Ay, Dios.
I ran as fast as I could and dove on the ground, yanking up the bed sheets to try and, I don't know, save her, I guess, even though I knew it was far too late. When I pulled the sheets up, she was completely unrecognizable. Her legs bent in weird positions with huge chunks of her meat just gone. Her face was twisted in an expression of pure agony and pain. Oh my God.
We gotta look this crime up.
Oh.
It's in Michigan, 1992.
Yeah.
In
And the guy went to a psychiatric ward.
You know what? They
Well, I
probably
guess they
blamed
didn't,
it on
they
him.
didn't believe him. They thought
probably
maybe
blamed it on
a
him.
lo mejor que él los mató.
They
Yeah.
probably thought he had like a schizophrenic episode.
probably played
and was seeing
insanity.
shit and like they
Okay,
thought
go.
he
I
killed.
told
Continue,
you.
continue,
I told you the
continue.
Bailey's gonna die.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
Dios mío santo.
Helen, I shouted, cried my eyes out. I was so upset I almost missed it at first. It was a pair of feet on the opposite side of the bed. My heart hit my chest with a force it never had before. Wait, hold on. So he was
He was like, I guess, now on the ground, like crying.
he was like
by his
kneel
body.
down over her and then saw feet on the other side, I guess. Okay.
No había visto.
Yeah. It says, my heart hit my chest with a force it never had before. I didn't even have time to react as those feet moved inhumanely fast straight out of my room towards the hall. I looked up and just caught a shadow running to where my kids lay sleeping. No, I shouted as loud as I could. As loud as I could, jumping up, racing after them. I was too late, though. Oh, my God. The door slammed shut, and I couldn't budge it. I screamed at the top of my lungs for them to open the door, but they wasn't having it, and there was no way I was getting this door open. So I quickly ran downstairs and called the police and told them to get out here quick. That's so crazy. A scream shattered through my body as I heard my own damn children facing the same fate as my beloved wife, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. Oh my God, that's so crazy.
Tengo miedo.
Yeah. It says, I was hysterically crying as I ran back up the stairs to keep ramming the door. It was pointless. There had to be something against the door because it wasn't even close to giving in. Then after a minute, I heard complete silence again, and I knew my babies were gone. At this point, he had to stop telling me the story and regain his composure. Oh my God.
I want to know how he survived. ¿Cómo no lo mataron a él también?
Maybe since he was
Let
nice
them
to them
in?
and let them in, they were going to leave him alone. No?
Oh,
I don't
let's
know.
see. Let's see.
Keep reading. Keep reading.
I was sitting huddled up in the hallway when I heard the door slowly creak open.
Oh,
I pulled my head from knees and looked in horror at the shadows slowly approaching the doorway. My heart was racing so fast I was about to pass out. Just before I did, though, those two damn kids stepped up out of that room covered in blood. They were smiling these awful grins, and that's when I got a look at their eyes. No white, just black. Like the devil's eyes himself were in these children.
Did you say he passed out?
No,
He almost
passed
He
out.
felt like he was going
I thought it was right before.
So that's when everything went black for me, and I must have fainted because I woke up at the hospital to a whole frenzy of doctors and policemen bombarding me with questions. I told them what happened, but of course they didn't believe me. Would you? I wouldn't. So long story short on that, they found me insane, and I've been here since. At this point, he was done telling me the story. So when I tell you, son, don't ever let those black-eyed kids in your home, and you listen, please. I must only be here today because the policemen scared them kids off, or I know I'd be dead too. Wish I was every day. He looked down and began sobbing again. I sat there in disbelief. I mean, here this guy was sitting at a crazy home, so he had to just be insane, right? I'm not so sure. But I do know one thing for sure. If black-eyed kids show up at my house, they stay in the fuck outside.
I don't care if they freeze out there.
Oh my God, that's so crazy.
¿Le crees o no le crees?
I believe him.
I want to
We
believe
can
him.
look it up and
I
fact
want
check
to believe
later.
him. Yeah, let's
Well,
look up
the story's gonna come up to like he murdered his family and like
Yeah.
maybe he had a crazy episode and he murdered his family.
La única cosa que es dudosa es por qué lo dejaron vivo a él.
Yeah.
Why did they run out of the
Maybe it
room to
was-
go to the kids' rooms? Why didn't they go ahead and kill him?
Yeah. I don't know.
Because it was like, maybe it's because they couldn't sneak up on him, but like they were
they
They were
sneak up
asleep.
on you. Yeah, they were asleep. That's so
And what's
crazy.
the purpose?
They're just demons.
Just killing people?
They're just demons, I
Like
guess.
that.
They just
Like,
evil.
what was the motive?
I don't
30
know.
minutos.
30
Yeah.
minutes.
In 30 minutes, they killed his whole family. And like,
The police came.
but like ate their flesh.
Oh,
Chunks of their flesh.
Says
That's
chunks of
called
their flesh
demons.
And broke their bones.
and broke their bones. That's crazy though.
Ay, no, escalofrío.
That would be so horrible to see.
Imagínate, escuchar cómo le están rompiendo los huesos. Cómo le están arrancando
And your kids.
la
Ugh.
carne.
Right.
Ay, Diosito, qué horror, Dios mío santo. No, mira.
But and it
No se me
says
quita el escalofrío.
it says they like pulled her like under the bed though, like on the other
La
side of the bed.
Ajá. Ay, no.
Oh my God, that's so scary.
No tienen cosas abajo de su cama.
No.
Yeah, we got a bat.
Huh?
We got
No,
a bat
do,
under
we
the
do,
bed.
We do. We do
Yeah,
that.
we got a bat under the bed.
there's
Just in
nothing
case.
under it.
That's so crazy. But I actually do want to look this story up though.
See, I can
And
look it up.
see.
It said Michigan,
1992.
1992, and I think he mentioned the month.
Kevin.
It was
November?
It was November in Michigan. It was October in Michigan.
November 19th, 1992
In Michigan.
in Michigan.
We should look it up. Okay.
That's so crazy.
I have another story. So this one's just titled "My Real Life True Scary Story."
I hope y'all are watching this at night. Y'all gotta watch it at night, like at 1 a.m. Like at 1
Let's not
a.m.
jalar las-
All the stories are literally like at 1 in the morning.
It's always 1 in the morning. Like these
But I
stories
thought
are
the
all at 1 in the
devil's
morning.
hour was 3.
It is 3.
Or is that the witch's hour?
Yeah.
Okay, so it says, this happened to me about a number of years ago, and I have never forgotten. One night, I was laying in bed trying to get some sleep. My black cat, Sabrina.
Oh,
Sabrina.
I think there was a show, witches, they had
Yeah.
a cat.
There was a kid
Sabrina
show.
the Teenage Witch.
Yeah, her. That
She had a black cat.
Okay, my black cat, Sabrina, scratched at my bedroom door to be let out. Tired but mostly awake, I slipped out of bed and shuffled to my door and let her go out. However, she looked at me. Wait, so the cat went outside to the bathroom?
It was scratching to get let out.
I think she was just in her room and she wanted to be out of the room.
Okay. However, she looked at me and guided me to the side door to go outside. I went to the door and opened it, then pushed the screen door out of the way so she could leave. However, after I closed the screen door, I happened to look across the way, which happens to be the side of the neighbor's house. In the driveway, blocking a bit of their house, is my dad's 1995 Chevy truck. On the other side of my dad's truck, I saw a strange figure standing by the hood. I could only see its shoulders and up. It had a larger head than its body, from what I could see. Its neck was thin, and its shoulders were bony looking.
It
Oh.
was Slender Man.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, I forgot.
Whatever it was had 2 large, empty eye sockets where eyes should be,
Slender
but
Man.
weren't. They were pitch black, like 2 voids against its pale skin. Now, the rest of the face I could never forget. It looked like the upper half of its face was covered in skin, and the lower it went towards its jaws, it looked shredded. Where the jaw was located was complete bone, and it had a wide, toothy grin as it just stood there and seemed to be looking right at me.
Oh my gosh.
Mind you, I wear glasses to see distances, and I thought maybe I was seeing some kind of blur of the bushes or something from the neighbor's house. So I squinted my eyes to get a better look. It made it worse. I saw even more details of the creature than I did before. Everything about it became more clear and detailed. The texture of the skin, the wrinkles, the bits of torn up looking flesh. There was no mistaking what I saw now. Terrified, I closed the side door and locked it.
She left her cat out there.
Sabrina on her own.
Man,
I was breathing heavily. Yo ya me voy, ahí te quedas. Terrified, I closed the side door and locked it. I was breathing heavily as my heart raced in my chest. Even then, I tried to reason with myself that maybe what I saw wasn't real.
I wouldn't have looked again.
But I couldn't shake it. I know what I saw.
Wait, but she's a child or she's an adult? Does it say?
Still scared, I ran into my room and jumped into bed. I was in my 30s.
Oh.
So she's by herself, probably.
Yet I took my blankets and hid under the covers like a kid.
Real.
After all these years, I suddenly felt the way I used to feel as a child when I woke up to vivid night terrors. That fear of not being able to escape the horrors of my imagination. Feeling completely alone and vulnerable even though my parents were across the way in their bedroom. So she lived with her parents.
Well, yeah, because it was her dad's truck.
Oh, yeah, his dad's truck was there.
Mm-hmm. As I hid under the blankets,
or
I
was
suddenly...
didn't she say her neighbor's house or something? Or do they live next to her?
No.
Oh.
Because I think she said the truck was like some white out.
I said alone and vulnerable. So my parents were across the way in their bedroom.
No, I think
they were across the hall in the bedroom.
Okay.
Yeah. As I hid under the blankets, I suddenly heard long, continuous scratches on my wall by where the creature was seen. It was like it was in my room and running a nail along the bumpy bedroom wall. Ooh. I could hear the nail lightly
so she's
thump.
saying it's inside her room now?
She's hearing like scratches.
Like it's inside, but it's not.
That feel like they're inside her room.
Oh my God.
It is.
I could hear the nail lightly thump each time it hit them. My panicking grew, and I felt more and more at the mercy of childhood trauma. I started to cry and tried to talk myself out of this fear that gripped me. Maybe this thing fed on fear, I thought to myself. Maybe it was getting a rise out of me and using my fear for its enjoyment. I tried to calm down and tell myself that everything was okay. When I have a night terror or I watch a scary movie, le pido a Dios, Dios, quítame esos pensamientos, déjame dormir en paz.
Legit. Every time, yeah. I have nightmares a lot, but when I have like a bad nightmare to like when I can't wake up, I start praying. Mm-hmm. And I get out of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like immediately. And that's why I'm like, yeah.
God is good. Mm-hmm. Okay. I tried to calm down and tell myself that everything was okay. As I was starting to relax, the scratching finally stopped and everything went quiet. Suffice to say, I did not want to see that thing ever again and to try and convince myself that I was still seeing things. The next night, as the cat wanted to go outside again, and I reluctantly looked in the location of where the creature had stood behind the hood of my dad's truck, nothing in the area looked like the creature at all, not even any of the features. That's when I settled with myself that what I saw was real, and that realization scared me all the more. I never wanted to see that thing again, and I hope it never comes back.
I would have made my dad take the cat out next night.
Right, I would not have gone out there. They were like, you're gonna have to. You can pee in the room.
You can pee in the room. I'm not going out there. Menos en la noche.
You know, that's odd.
Why is she letting her cat out though?
Right, that's what I was gonna say. They don't have a litter box.
That's what I was asking.
It goes outside, like
the cat goes
outside.
Maybe.
I mean, some people do that.
I mean, maybe.
I guess.
I mean,
I just think it's rare.
Hay gatos que viven en la calle, pues hacen en la calle.
Yeah, but if it lives in
but he was indoors.
Side,
maybe he's a both cat. Maybe he's a both outdoor and indoor.
Qué miedo.
I would not. I would
Todo
not
lo
go
que
out
vio.
there. Yeah, but
and the head was bigger than its body.
I wouldn't go outside again.
I would not go outside at night. For like a month. I couldn't do it. I'm not that brave.
Yo me acuerdo cuando teníamos al oso.
Mm-hmm.
And when we used to live in the little house, his little corral was all the way in the backyard. Y yo en el summer tenía que le iba a dar de comer 3 veces al día, en la mañana, en la tarde y en la noche. Y cuando me tocaba ir en la noche, ay, Dios santo, yo sentía que ya me iba a salir la llorona, que ya me iba a llevar el monstruo.
How old were you?
I was little, like 10 like maybe.
10 or 12 or something like that.
Yeah. Like I would go, iba. And it was kind of like a little hill, a little bit. Y iba ahí con cuidado y miraba para allá y miraba para acá y con el Jesús en la boca que ya voy a ver algo que no. Le dejaba la comida, I would turn and run up the hill.
Girl,
No
that's
quería
me.
ver nada.
That's me right now because every time, well, not every time, but sometimes when we go and let my dog Bruno out, like at night, like I'll go take him out. He is like very like any little noise. He points at it, like he looks at it and is alert to it. Like he alerts us to any little noise
that he hears.
Because he'll just stand there and like look in that direction. And usually it'll be like a little bird, like a squirrel moving around, or like maybe a car is coming and he'll just like stare at it. Yeah, like I hear something, there it is, look at it, you know. But sometimes it'd be like nothing. Like I don't hear anything, and he just starts staring at like towards behind the house. Like he'll just stare back there. Like if
ya
he hears something.
Que vaya él solo y que se regrese porque no.
We tried, and then he don't be listening to come back. So yeah,
he's like, I'm free now.
Yeah, so no, he got his privileges taken away. He can only go out with a leash.
He can't be trusted.
Yeah, no, he's a little gremlin.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, sometimes he'll like stare, or like he'll stare in like to my neighbor's yard, and like there's nothing there. My neighbor's right there.
Una mosca o algo.
I don't know. But he'll stare at it for a long time in like the same direction, and he won't move. And I'm like, okay, you tripping. We're going back in the house. I'm not doing this with you. Because it freaks me out sometimes because he just like stares or like he's acting like he hears something
Que
or
algo
he sees
ve,
something
o algo
or he sees
pues
something.
dicen que los animales pueden ver cosas que uno no.
Yeah, and that's why I don't play with him. And be like, okay, let's go. You're done.
That's why I don't play with him.
Ya acabaste. Vámonos.
Yeah. When he start messing around, okay, you're done. Let's go back in the house. Because no, you're freaking me out.
Ay, no, qué miedo. No, sí da miedo, la verdad. No. No, olvídate. ¿Ya encontraste esa historia, Miriam?
I have one pulled up, but I don't know if it's good.
Well, I didn't read mine. And
We can do a little
pause.
¿Cuál?
She didn't read her second one.
The
That
one
one
that
she
he
found
let the people in the house. I mean, the kids in the house. I didn't read it like all the way through.
Oh.
Before I read it.
Oh.
And it was good.
It was good. It was good.
That's so crazy, though.
Qué miedo.
So this is, I think, an explanation of what this person thinks the black-eyed kids are. I don't know how true this is, or I don't know if he read up on this or anything. But
Is that his imagination or he investigated?
Do you think that Black Eyed Kids are like mythical legend that happened like way before? Also, like stuff that happened before.
What?
Like
O sea que es algo que pasaba antes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe something started them. Where did they start at?
And how do they choose someone, or do they choose someone?
That's valid.
I don't know.
A ver qué dice.
So this is like a comment under the story that we read.
Okay.
It says, oh, you want to know what the black-eyed kids are? Well, you're going to have to bear with me a bit. You know what animism is?
How's it spelled?
Animism. Animism.
Let's Google it.
Animism. Well, I think it explains it.
Oh.
It says the spiritual belief that everything from trees to rocks to planets has a spirit. Every culture has some trace of animism, but Shinto is the only primarily animist religion, which is known worldwide. So I'll borrow its term for these spirits. Kami or Kami? Kami.
How's it spelled?
Kami.
Okay.
Kami? Kami, as a general rule, manifest only where their physical body, influences the physical realm. So maybe it's in certain areas?
Maybe.
The Kami of the Nile is a big deal everywhere where life is dependent on the river. Elsewhere, it's at best a visitor getting by on the interconnectedness of Earth's ecosystem. So I guess it's like certain areas they're able to pop up at.
They're trying to go somewhere else.
I guess. It says even non-animist cultures tend to recognize the importance of certain kami to an extent. I'm talking about the big ones like the sun and the moon. They're perfectly capable of manifesting in entirely different ways, depending on their relationship with a given culture. The sun, of course, is very far away from Earth, but its effects are felt every day through the yin and yang of fundamental forces, gravity and electromagnetism. Now, the thing is, the only limit to those forces is the speed of light. Technically, those kami can visit anywhere their light, and in parentheses, it says reflected light in the case of planets and moons, and gravity reaches. Of course, a kami of a distant star doesn't usually have much influence on Earth, but spirits are by definition social beings. The kami of a star that happens to indicate true north from a large chunk of Earth will spend some time here just because it likes to be around people who it is important to. It says, with me so far?
It's like the spirit.
Yeah. It says, well, what about the kami of, say, black holes? The spirit of the death of a star, of the embodiment of the force which holds the universe together, manifests to such an immense degree that time and space cease to have any meaning within it. What they are is endless hunger. What they understand is drawing things together. On a spiritual level, empathy. But they're not terribly strong. We are technically gravitationally bound with them. But in practical terms, this doesn't mean much. And if someone sees them for what they are, they get a glimpse of the terror we'd feel if we were somehow physically close enough to a black hole to see the perfect nothing at the center of the accretion disk. I don't know what that means, but the accretion. It says accretion.
I don't know.
It says you have to let them in before they feed. Once the connection is formed, you are theirs forever. The man you spoke to, his soul is just being consumed slowly, like a star locked in an orbital dance.
That's why they left him alive.
Like a star locked in an orbital dance with an ever-growing nothing. His family went quicker, but here's the really fun part.
O sea, I think they meant to kill him too, pero a lo mejor llegó la policía y ya no lo mataron. So now
they're just feeding
se está acabando
slowly. They're killing him slowly.
Yeah.
It says It says matter and energy never actually reach the event horizon from their own perspective. Even once they have actually reached that point where infinite energy would not allow even a massless photon to escape, they are just falling forever. I didn't get that part.
This is very scientific.
But that's spiritualist. That's the end of it. Yeah, I guess they're consuming him slowly. Maybe he's actually going crazier and crazier
until he dies.
It's like they're consuming his energy.
But I guess essentially
¿Y para qué quieren su energy?
It says essentially they're just black holes. Like they want to consume something.
Oh,
so
they want to consume like the light.
Yeah, because the black hole just
consume
up everything.
And it's like the tarot is like if you're looking at a black hole or like next to a black hole.
That's a really interesting view.
And I guess it kind of explains like their black eyes.
A la
they're
vez,
just black holes. That's interesting.
That's scary. O sea que sí existen.
Yeah, I guess there's like a spiritual like
connection,
meaning to it or explanation to it.
Sí.
Like everything.
Todo tiene que tener.
Yeah.
Una explicación.
It says this is just a thought, but if he was mentally ill, he might have actually done all this himself, thinking that it was black-eyed children.
He could have been crazy.
También es una posibilidad.
That's the other thing.